Welcome. From Psalm 118, the stone that the builders rejected has become the cornerstone. The Lord has done this, and it is marvelous in our eyes. And Jesus quoted this verse about himself in the days before Good Friday and Easter, and then later the church used it. So Jesus, who was rejected by the elders and the chief priests, has become the most important person of all. Let's explore that. Here's a model of Jerusalem in the time of Jesus. It's at the Museum of Israel in Jerusalem. And you can see a big temple complex in that top right-hand corner, and then the walls around the city. Now, those walls are in a slightly different place from the current walls around the old city. So Jesus was crucified outside the city walls, but just outside, and now it's actually inside the current city walls. He was crucified at a place called Golgotha. It was a worked out quarry. It was just outside a city gate. It was off a major road, and that's why the crucifixion accounts talk about people passing by and hurling insults at him. He was just off a main road. This worked out quarry was being redeveloped, and some of it being redeveloped into gardens with expensive tombs. And that's a tomb where Jesus is buried. And finally, just a reminder, crucifixion was a very public shaming and exposure. It was the Roman way of putting down people who rebelled against them. It's a way of maintaining control when you're occupying other land. So we have this worked out quarry which has been reclaimed. Part of it's a garden with new tombs. Part of it's just outside a city gate, just next to a main thoroughfare. And that's where the crucifixion happened. This site now is the Church of the Holy Sepulchre. Inside the city gates and just up a couple of hundred meters from the big Lutheran church in the old city. It's a hodgepodge of buildings. It's been there for 10 centuries at different times. It's been destroyed by earthquakes, rebuilt, and it's all different Christian groups have rites in different places. And inside, in September, it was hot, it was full of pilgrims, and there was lots of renovations going on, so there weren't lots of spaces to be in. Here are people gathering to go into the actual site, the little church built over the site of the traditional site of the resurrection. And there was a great queue of 40 or so minutes to get in, and we chose not to. And then the people have to wait because it's time for one liturgical thing to happen. So those doing the liturgies come in, the others have to wait for maybe 10-15 minutes while they do their prayers and their chanting, and then it goes on. It was hot. It wasn't very particularly nice. The next morning our chaplain said, "Oh, I'm going in at 4:30. I thought, yeah, I'm not going to get up at 4:30 and go in, but it turned out I did get up at 4:30 and go in. So we walked through the Damascus Gate, we walked along the old streets, pretty well near deserted. We walked past the Lutheran church, and we came into the Church of the Holy Sepulchre. And the first thing you see when you come in and just look a few meters ahead is this big slab of rock, marble rock. Traditionally, that's the site where Jesus' body was laid while he was taken off the cross, being prepared for burial. And you can see people venerating it, touching it, maybe putting cloths or material on it and then taking that back to their homes to maybe give to sick relatives. So that's right in front. And as you come in and just turn to the right, you can go up these steps to the Chapel of the Crucifixion. So it's all tizzied up, and there's lots, and during the day there's busloads and busloads and busloads of pilgrims. Here they are kneeling down on the traditional spot under that little altar. But also in this chapel, behind glass, little bits of the original rock. Remember we said it's a quarry. It was a quarry site. And here, running down for a few meters, is a slab of rock the stone that the builders rejected turned out to be the most important one of all. You can see it's not good quality rock. It was reject, not good enough for building quality. This is the place where Jesus was buried. From that rubbish heap comes the greatest thing of all. We know that God is with us even in the worst possible experiences and humiliations, the moments of deepest shame and failure. We know God is with us, and now miraculously they become a God place, a place where new life can emerge, a place where there is working through, a finding of forgiveness, a making of peace. Christianity is very different from other religions with its ideas of success, and let's explore these areas. When we take crucifixion and Good Friday seriously, we have a way to understand suffering and loneliness, and we have hope when things don't make sense. That's a profound gift that the Christian Church offers to others. And in Jesus being rejected and crucified, we see how much God values us, whoever and however we are. And that's one of the really important, precious things, learning to value other people the way that God values them. So we're learning to see, to listen to, and to value others, especially those that we initially dismiss as being not very smart or not worth listening to, or they're not saying anything, so they don't got nothing to offer. We're learning to see and do life differently. And we're very much now a post-Christian era, post-Christian country. So what does it mean to be Christian now? It is different. And as we see how some of our non-Christian work colleagues and people we know deal with issues, we discover, oh yes, we have profound things to draw on as Christians. We can live with hope and courage and love. The stone that the builders rejected turned out to be the most important one of all. And maybe there are parts of us or life events that we need to look back on and maybe reevaluate and discover in them it wasn't all bad. There were some good or vital or important things. As we get ready to celebrate Good Friday and Easter, may we know that there is nothing in our life that is rejected or unimportant, and that because Jesus died on the cross, we have hope, we have life, we have forgiveness, we have amazing new possibilities. Peace be with you.